Welcome to Six Sigma for Greater Cincinnati YMCA e-learning Module 4, Getting to Root Cause. In this module, we will identify root causes and develop meaningful change. In the Six Sigma Analyze phase, we do such things as identify variation and waste, use different types of charts to turn data into information. We might use statistical analysis, but really we want to make sure we are understanding root cause. Many times, when we begin a new project, we have preconceived ideas about where it will lead, and that's okay. It's human nature to want to solve problems quickly and take action. But understand that with data, we learn more about the actual problem, the nature of each cause, and how we might more adequately solve the issue. Data can and should change your direction on a project. Whereas the measure phase is about the problem effect, the analyze phase is all about isolating the causes. This can be accomplished in many ways. A fishbone diagram outlines potential causes for a certain effect. You can change the title of each fishbone to be relevant for your project. Like this example that was used to help develop our new Greater Cincinnati YMCA website. 5Y takes a specific effect and asks the question why 5 times to get to the root of the problem. Let's take a look at this example. A driver gets caught speeding, perhaps because they were late for work. They got up late because the alarm clock didn't go off. The batteries were dead because they forgot to replace with new ones. The purpose of this exercise is to make a change that will fix the root cause, getting a plug-in alarm clock, instead of trying to change one of the symptoms. A person could attempt to be a better driver or attempt to get up earlier, but those changes will not fix the real problem of a faulty alarm clock. We use a 5Y analysis when we see the same problem over and over again despite attempting changes. That is usually a sign that we have been treating symptoms. In this example, we discovered that membership prices were continually increasing because we were supporting branches that needed special help for funding. Working on a pivot program and finding additional financial partners for these branches will make the entire association financially healthier. FMEA is another tool that can help identify causes and prioritize change. Here, a failure modes and effects analysis helped to prioritize 3 specific changes: consolidating vendors and making sure people use the correct invoice codes in order to achieve savings for housekeeping and admin supplies. Identifying waste can also help find causes and create improvements. Waste is anything that makes us do too much work or spend too much time. Technically, there are 8 types of waste, but we usually focus on the first 2, defects and time. Waste identification is often done with a process map, as in this example. There are 5 areas of waste that were the cause for defective invoices and spending too much on housekeeping and admin supplies, as well as wasted employee time. Just like we gathered data on the Y variable in measure, we want to analyze data about the X variables. Remember, Y means the effect and X means causes. Just like the Y data, you will need to extract, find, or create data for the causes on your project problem. Once you have data, you can use a variety of tools to analyze it, such as a histogram, a control chart, or a before and after. You want to use whatever format shows how the data helped you make an important project decision. At the end of your analyze phase, you should be able to answer these questions. Take a moment to read and think about what they might mean for your project. Now, let's talk about the improve phase, the moment we've all been waiting for. Notice that up until now, we have not talked about making any changes whatsoever in the process. We have simply been observing, collecting data, and planning for change. The Six Sigma process teaches us to go slow in the beginning, define, measure, analyze, so that we can go fast in the end. So what do I mean by that? Let's compare Six Sigma way of thinking to how we typically solve problems. We often gather people together, brainstorm, form a solution, and implement a rapid change. But when the solution doesn't work, we go back through this cycle again and again. The problem is, we don't always look at data or truly study the process. We tend to jump to conclusions, and in this way, we get stuck in the cycle of forever fixing. This is not an effective way to solve problems. When we use the DMAIC way of thinking, we study the process and create what we call the funneling effect. First, we use the tools in define and measure to identify the many X's or causes that affect a process outcome. Then we use analyze tools to funnel these X's down to identify the truly critical ones. By the time we get to improve, we are only making changes to critical inputs. And in this way, we save time and are more likely to fix it forever. There are many things to consider when developing solutions, such as making sure to correct past mistakes, if possible, and prevent future failures. A new process map should be generated along with other documents and policies. Make sure you have proper funding for changes and that you seek approval for these changes. One of the primary outputs of the improve phase is the 2B process map. This is a map of the process in its improved state and how it should be performed after changes have been made. Corrective actions should be taken to right past failures, and preventive actions will keep future failures from occurring. At the end of your improve phase, you should be able to answer these questions. Take a moment to read and think about what they might mean for your project. This concludes Six Sigma for Greater Cincinnati YMCA eLearning Module 4, Getting to Root Cause. In the next module, we will close the loop in the control phase. Thanks for listening.